My people, e don shigbegbe again o. Hey, una remember say Wike wife dey say na judge na she be, but Wike tell us say im wife na UK citizen, as if that was not enough. According to the information now wey dey circulate the media space, say Wike dey buy private mansion, big mansion, dey carry give judges to cover him up, alleging. Now people come dey ask questions say, okay o, all these private mansions wey you dey buy dey give judges, no be to open their eyes? People wey no come get money now, when time reach for them to judge, they go dey expect the same thing wey big man dey give them for on top of poor man head. Now again, these private mansions wey you say you give judges now, shey you also give your wife to? Omo, people no wan gree o. Youth dey para, people dey para. Omo, this time around Wike don enter one chance. This one wey dey tackle am like this, how election time wan come take be? My people, make una come hear matter wey dey ground o. E choke.
As a former governor of a state, and I said to Mr. President, one thing your government must show different is that we can't afford to continue to see judges living in rented houses. Sometimes you don't know the landlords of these houses. Sometimes you don't know their neighbors. These judges preside over criminal matters or other serious matters indeed. And of course, you never can tell what will happen. And let me say this, and I challenge anybody who has a contrary opinion. What is happening today has never happened in this country as far as FCT is concerned. And I want to thank the Honorable Attorney General. And I want to say it, I'm not criticizing his predecessors, but when somebody has done something that is different, it is important for you to tell people, let the truth be told. This person has changed the narrative. He has changed the narrative because there's no time we have discussed with the President on how we are going to improve the welfare of judges and justices that has never given his support. I can assure you, what you are doing today is provided in the budget of 2024 and 2025 of the FCT budget, which was sent to the National Assembly, approved by the National Assembly, and accepted by Mr. President. So we are not doing anything that we just want to on our own. It's the policy of Mr. President, and that's why he has to back it up by National Assembly appropriating it and himself assenting to it. And let me make it clear, what we are doing today is not just for heads of court. When they retire, they go, no. As they are retiring, the property become their own. And that is approval of Mr. President. And that is why we issued the CFOs in their names. So any of you who are here now, don't think that when they are leaving tomorrow, you see people writing on pages of newspaper, retired Chief Judge of FCT has taken our house, retired Chief of Federal High Court has converted our house, the President of National Industrial Court has converted the House of National Industrial Court, the President of Court of Appeal has done the same. Please, the policy of Mr. President in this sense of court, as they are retiring, must go home with their houses. And that is the true position. The representative of the President of Court of Appeal has said, I can imagine how a presiding justice who posted to Abuja FCT that you would think that things are affordable for him to do his job, was squatting with his own brother for 2 years. For 2 years. Tell me how comfortable he would be in that house to do his work. Friends will come and visit his brother. Will he say they shouldn't come? It's not his house. It's a squatter. It's not his house. And that is what you find our judges passing through. And that's why when I was governor of Rivers State, I made it clear, no judge on retirement will not have a home. If you don't want it physically, if you want it in cash, we did it. And let me say, to the Court of Appeal, to the Federal High Court, we are merely supporting you. We are not under us. It's only the FCT that we are relating with as the judges of FCT. That is why we are building for the Court of Appeal 10 duplexes. By the grace of God, will be handed over by Mr. President by the end of the year. 10 for the Federal High Court, 20 for the FCT High Court. And just like the President of National Industrial Court said, while he was speaking, in those days as children, when you don't want somebody to call you out, you'll be doing some traditional things that, please let them not remember me. You'll be praying, so I was praying that he will forget the promise that was made to him. Of course, as a former lecturer, and of course, as a judge, and of course, as a president of Industrial Court, I know he will never forget it. Mr. President, let me say it again to you. Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not make promise and fail. And as his agent, I want to assure you, we will have to provide those houses for you, your judges. So don't bother yourself. Anywhere you see me, don't remind me. Take it to the bank, and you can cash from it. This project is not a project, we'll let it be completed. Please, we don't have history of starting projects and abandoning the project. No one person will complete this project for us. We are going to complete this project. And I've heard the contractor say 15 months. I've heard years, FCDA say 12 months. So there's a problem here. Yes, come. Contractor, come. Let us settle it here now. So let us know what we're doing. Where's the contractor? Where's the contractor? Yes. Yes. This is live coverage. Nigerians are hearing you. The judges are hearing you. You are the one who gave the contract, is it not? What is the time duration?
12 months.
Say it, let them hear.
12 months. Sir.
12 months. Contractor, what did he sign?
12 months. Sir.
12 months. Agreement is what?
Agreement.
Settled. So, this project must be completed in 12 months time and handed over to you. And the day you are retiring, State Fine is their house. But let me also say, what Mr. President has done for FCT, before the first tenure of Mr. President ends, no judge of the FCT will be living in a rented quarter. I said before the first tenure ends, no judge of the FCT High Court, I didn't say Federal High Court, I didn't say National Industrial Court, but of the FCT High Court will be staying in a rented quarter. That will come to an end. And we are making sure that this is done. The Attorney General On behalf of FCT, we want to sincerely thank you. The support we have gotten from you, we cannot quantify it. In fact, it was through you that we have to even think about decentralizing the FCT courts. And the Chief Judge of FCT thanked the Attorney General. That has been included in the budget of 2025. I've just summoned the General Counsel to make sure that that project commences immediately so that we'll be able to digitalize the FCT High Court. The Federal High Court and Industrial Courts, they know how to handle that. But this one is under us, so we must give them the best. So I thank all of you. Our judges, our judicial officers deserve the best. And I thank God that Mr. President has made it as his own policy to see that during his tenure, the narrative is a different narrative. And we are happy. This project will be inspected day one to the last day. Luckily, it is not where you say there's no road. Here we are providing every infrastructure. Every infrastructure. And I want you, as you are going, you look at the 3Ds and see how befitting. And that will make you to work harder. That will make you to say, look, even if I put in my life, you are entitled to do so. I thank the government of President Tinubu, who believes, of course, Basir, when he was governor of Lagos State, everybody saw what he did for judiciary, and now becoming president, we don't expect anything less than that. Please, FCDA, there's no variation. The contractor, there's no variation. We don't want to hear, oh, we didn't know how the soil was. You did soil test here before you came up with the bill of quantities and the rest. So you know how the soil is. Don't come here and tell me, oh, when we started digging, we never knew there was this or there was that. You knew everything, and you have accepted, and we have mobilized you, and we have the funds to pay. So don't come and bring variation to delay this job. This is a special job that must be handed over at the time we have agreed within 12 months. 12 months of when the contract was awarded, not 12 months of when you come on site. You have signed the contract since we are giving you the money. I know you will say, oh, it's been raining in Abuja. I have told people, anytime it's raining, don't take our money. When the rain stops, come and collect money. Because when you take money, you put it in the account, it uses more interest for you, and then we are suffering. So don't take money in rainy season. If you take money in rainy season, work in rainy season. On this note, I want to invite our special guest of honor, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, to do us the good, to talk to us, and then lay the foundation ceremony of this project. Thank you, and God bless you.
This article has been making the rounds and causing a lot of conversation. Well, it is time for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to allow the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to face the law. This article has been is calling for Minister Wike to be prosecuted. Or I don't know what the end point is. Either way, we have Malam Hoka for himself, looking like a Malam today. You took your Malam title very, very seriously.
Yes.
Even up to the weekend.
You really was there?
Yes, I've been Malam all through.
Did I miss?
And I will continue to be. You know, when you say Malam, people don't get what it means. Malam is a teacher.
Teacher, yeah, actually.
Yeah, so
it's a teacher.
And I've been a teacher all my life.
You'll teach me a few things.
Yes.
And of course,
but my reward will not be in heaven, it will be here.
We will negotiate.
Right.
Yeah. I'm thinking we continue the conversation. So first off, here's my first question. I told you people, you all set me up this morning. What do you think is motivating this call for the president to let Wike, face the law? They are not saying investigate him. They're not saying question him or call him to order, which is what we've heard a lot of. It is audaciously telling the president to allow him face the law. So they are insinuating that the president is protecting Minister Wike. Your thoughts?
I could link Wike's issues to so many other issues that are bordering on, especially when it comes to the rule of law. Wike is just one of, and maybe we are standing on that premise to talk about this. I mean, if allegation comes out about an individual, the agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of investigation and making sure these things are looked into, let's say it's a rumor. We said rumors are unconfirmed truth. They're just speculations. But that doesn't mean they're not right. Especially when you now have a good informative knowledge of the things that are being alleged of. You swing into action and you do the needful, whether it's DSS, whether it's the ITPC, whether it's EFCC, whether it's the first CID. Do you understand? Lands have been purported to have been given to Wike cronies. Some have been shown that he has demolished a lot of people's property to take them over with evidences. Why are we shielding him? Or why is the law shielding? Is it the law or the agencies or the people involved not making sure that he's been investigated? Wike is a Nigerian citizen that is subject to the law. Number two, Wike doesn't have immunity at this time. Now, let's even talk about that immunity we talk about. If a governor has an immunity or a president has an immunity, it doesn't mean that he cannot be investigated. It just means that he cannot be tried and put in jail. Yeah. So if he's investigated and is found wanting, you wait until that immunity is lifted. Now, Wike doesn't even have immunity. Wike has been alleged to buy properties in the US with evidences. Wike has been alleged that he gave land to his children, and this land were paid for with little or no money. I mean, with all the evidences, what's shielding him? Is it the de facto president? Do you understand? Now, the law is what governs us. I've always said it. In this country, our Bible, if you go to the mosque, the Quran spells out what you can do as a Muslim. The same way with the Bible. If you even go to a traditional shrine in Nigeria, they will tell you, you can't stay here, you can't stay here. It's not even written down. But in everybody's mind is written down. You can't stop here, drop your slippers here. The same way in this country, our Bible is the Constitution. Wike is not above the Constitution. It should be brought to the judiciary.
Mr. Okafor.
Yeah, whether the president to allow Wike to be prosecuted at this time, my friend, sometimes friend, not all the time, have always said something. He said, when you want to look at what a man would do, you are going to first of all look at the idiosyncrasies of that man. How has that man been doing things before? Yes. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will first of all do the mathematical calculation of what Wike will bring to the table come 2027 election. To our president, you might do whatever you like, you might say whatever you like. Politics is number one. And we have seen that, okay, and we can prove that. So he's going to look at what Wike will bring to the table. Can I form that same formation with Fubara? Because people are already calling, pressuring him that these things you think Wike can do, Fubara as a governor can do it. That Wike was not even able to remove Governor Fubara until you came in to help Wike with the emergency rule. That Fubara is on ground, and Fubara has never really shown any hatred towards you. Even the other day, Fubara just thanked Wike on the Ogoni 9 that a pardon and all that, led by Kensaro. Fubara's body language have always shown that, President, I can work with you. Leave this man alone. Forget about this reconciliation they did. Leave this man alone. I can work with you. So at some point, the president is going to throw in Wike, but how? Issues of pushing him to be litigated, to be prosecuted or whatever, I don't know, but I think the citizens themselves owe themselves a duty to present a formal petition before EFCC. It helps. Yes, EFCC, ICPC can listen to a song or media and art, but these guys are abusing, I can tell you. Just take a visit to EFCC office or go to ICPC office. They are busy. So if they can formalize a petition, submit it to EFCC, then you can say, oh, I have submitted this thing to EFCC. They have done nothing. It's easier. This is a call on citizens and a call on the report writers, in quotes, those asking them to drop Wike. Instead of doing that report, that same time you spend in writing that report is sufficient to put these things together. Write a formal request, get acknowledgement, throw it into the media, then we can sit here and call EFCC and say, why have you not done this? Yes, we've looked at into some operations of land grabbings and stories of that, people who have developed their land and Wike going to reallocate, especially the one in Karo and all the likes. You know, I think Wike came in as a novice and grossly ignorant of the law. You know, they think the minister will just revoke the land. No! The primary reason for allocation of land is development, not to make money for government. Making money for government is a secondary interest. And if you are to legally revoke a developed land, the first right of refusal for the allocation of that land, if it's for the same purpose, is still the owner of the land. Except it's for overriding public interest. You want to build school in the place, you want to build a rail station, you want to build a university, you want to do things like that. You can't take a developed land, revoke it and locate yourself. You will go to jail. If you don't do it now, like he has said, the investigation will be done now, and when though he doesn't have immunity, but in some form the president can confer immunity on him, because the president said do not prosecute this man. You are not going to go ahead. In Nigeria we know today, you are not going to go ahead.
So I think, because would you say that this protection, whether it's there or it's in our head, would you say that this protection that he's getting from the president is because of 2027 elections? Or is it for another reason? Because at this point, I think when Nigeria started to notice and ask a lot of questions about the relationship going on between the president and Wike was when the whole Fubara situation happened, and we saw the way that the president swung in, and we're like, okay, what's really going down there? And then eventually, with the declarations bold declarations that Wike has made, like, I'm going to be supporting the president for presidency 2027, doesn't matter what party I'm in. And we've seen.
Let me tell you one thing the president doesn't want to do.
Yes.
The president doesn't want to get into this 2027 scandal. That's why you see the Minister of Science and Technology resign. Okay, things like that. He doesn't want to get into anywhere with scandal, and that is where people are coming to him to tell him, drop Wike. This Wike asset investigation or whatever that is, people are saying he has a house in the US. He has acquired farmland here and allocated to his children and all that. The president doesn't want that. The president is going to bring this to the table. I can tell you, 2027, once the president is running. Look, I remember I said about idiosyncrasy. Politics is his number one. Once he's running for 2027, if training Wike will pay him better, he will throw in Wike. But if returning Wike will pay him better, he will also do that. Yes, 2027 will appear to be the major reason on how to deal with Wike.
There's a place I don't agree with you. Like today, this morning, you are speaking on behalf of the EFCC. EFCC doesn't have anything, their hands full at all. EFCC eyes and ears are upon small Yahoo boys.
No, I'm not making excuses for them. No, and I'm trying to make it easier.
I agree with you.
The way
people should put up a petition.
Yeah, so that it become easier.
For example, what this ones Wike wrote now on the authority newspaper shows us that there are enough write-ups that have been done, either in the media or personally, to EFCC, ICPC, and agencies of government involved in prosecution. But none of them has ever gone up to.
But I'm telling you how to make this easy.
Well, I agree with you.
Yeah, there's something called watertight.
In case exactly, both them into
exactly. Pass them into a corner. So you know that one. Which one you can't fight me?
I don't let you know.
Do you think that it is very important for us to emphasize on these ways forward?
Yes.
Exactly. Because there's a good number of Nigerians. One thing
you don't just throw something into the media and expect FCC to just be acting.
We argue.
No.
Beyond today, EFCC has gone into what petition went before EFCC?
No, we are not saying they don't.
We are not saying that they have to.
We are not saying they have to.
The Nigerian people are really interested in pushing this down. Writing articles in the media is not going to cut.
It's not enough.
if you like, go out and protest. We've seen protests not working.
But let me also,
you have to push this to a point where you're boxing.
But let me also tell you something. My own point.
Okay, can I tell you something?
Yes.
Do you think the judge, the court, even when they know the truth,
Yes.
that when making judgment, they're going to do anything outside the evidence?
That's judiciary.
I'm giving you an example.
No, but let me tell you my own opinion on the president.
Yeah.
I don't think, from what we are seeing now, that the presidency is going to throw Wike in. We have seen the president able to manage so many things. Just before the weekend, we saw the president pardon a lot of people from...
including the lady that killed her husband.
Exactly. Now, if you look at more than 50% of those that got pardoned, maybe even up to 70%, they are either drug people or people that have defrauded the Nigerian system. What are you saying? What you just say is that fold up EFCC that convicted Lawal, is it Lawal, that House of Rep member from Kano, okay. Fold up what's it, NDLEA that has prosecuted and put a lot of drug lords behind bar. Fold up.
It's a presidential pardon for a few people. It doesn't mean it doesn't.
It's not for a few people. It's for a great number of people, and over 100, and more than 70% of these people are people that have gone against the state. I'm telling you, either as drug lords, either as violent people. A man that has been involved in kidnapping, assassination, was pardoned. Chiwi.
Okay, let's see. You see the power of pardon.
That's a whole conversation for it.
Exactly.
I don't want us to get into
exactly.
The whole pardon, because that's conversation.
Exactly. Why did you call it pardon?
No, what I'm saying is that if the president did this one, I'm not sure he would do that of Wike.
If I may, unfortunately, that thing called time is beckoning on us. We have to wrap it up on News Insights this morning. Thank you very much, Malam Okafor and PK. Of course, we're going to continue with other programs. Don't forget to share links and invite your family, friends, and loved ones.
One of the last Catholic taboos, but with reports of sexual abuse against nuns rising, it's becoming impossible to ignore. And here in Nigeria, the case of Anastasia Kinsey has hit the headlines after she was claimed she was dismissed from the Congregation of Mothers of Perpetual Help of the Archangel Sisters for reporting a case of sexual harassment by her head of department at Veritas, a Catholic university in Abuja owned by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria. And she says that previously a priest had propositioned her explicitly for sex, which she rebuffed, triggering what she describes as a revenge mission against her. Since then, she says her world has unraveled amid a storm of allegations, harassment claims, and institutional backlash. So what's really going on here?
You don't demolish, scatter, destroy the building that have sheltered you when you were in distress. This congregation, these sisters that have turned to evil, demons, were the ones, according to the letter they wrote, sent you to university. Not any other university, but University of Abuja. To show you that they love you, trusted you, hoped in you, see you as the light of their congregation. They made you a local superior of a community. Coming today, sexual scandal she's talking about, I'm not dating her, absolutely. Sister, we will be at war front to bring justice to whatever sexual harassment you may claim that happened to you. We will be at what front for you if only you bring out evidences, proofs that shows that yes, it occurred. Not naming anybody's name. He said that there are priests, there are also a layperson. You may call their name, but you don't have evidences. They'll be the one to see you. The case will turn. So bring out evidences.
Right, that's a nun who was responding to the allegations made by Anastasia Kinsey. She put out that, and we thought it was important to give that side of the story as well. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the recently dismissed Catholic nun Anastasia Kinsey. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, what's your reaction to what that nun was saying?
I find it a little funny because she's asking me for evidence, but in our world today, imagine me coming out and calling names and talking, it wouldn't make any sense. And of course, like she said, I could be sued. And it's not like the evidences do not exist. They do exist, but I cannot put them out there.
So what kind of evidence do you say exists?
I have a video and an audio recording that showed where the head of department harassed me. And
right.
I can't put it out there. So she responded to what she saw online with so much clarity, as if she had spoken to me or anyone. Yet she talks about one-sided, story. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. Well, let's get to the heart of the matter from your point of view. Tell us what happened to you briefly and how you came to be dismissed as a nun after 10 years as a Reverend Sister.
Yeah, I joined the congregation of Mother of Perpetual Help of the Archangel Sisters in 2015. And in 2017, I was professed, and in 2023, I was finally professed. And after that, I experienced so many challenges. Of course, as a human person, your life cannot just be a bed of roses. And I had always confided in my Superior General and my bishop. But the issue has always been that I was always complaining, according to them. Whereas what I sought was clarity. And
yeah, but what were you complaining to them about?
About our relationship with the priests in
right.
the diocese.
And what was that relation? What were you telling them about that relationship?
First, I think I wrote to the bishop that a priest was always shouting at me when I come to the office to talk to him. I worked under him, and it was just that I had to write because the bishop and many other people would not believe me, So I had to write to the bishop telling him that this priest was, harassing me and making me,
yeah, but
uncomfortable.
not sexually harassing.
Not sexually as at that point.
Right.
So when I
So
wrote
when did
to
it
the
get
bishop,
to sexual harassment? Because that's the really serious one. I mean.
Yeah, I only reported verbally.
Yeah, I mean they were bullying you
yes,
initially,
yes,
which is bad enough. But what really got, really bad is the sexual harassment one. I mean that's a if it's true, that's a horrendous thing. I mean, tell us about that.
I reported to my superior. I spoke to her about a priest who I was living in the same compound with.
Where was this?
In a community where I was, in Auchi.
Right, that's in Edo State.
Yes.
Right.
So I told her that on a fateful day, I went into his room and he tried to touch me, and I don't just understand if this is a norm, if it's a normal thing. And she just told me to just.
Was that the
ignore
first
him.
time it had ever happened to you?
That wasn't the first time.
Right.
Yes, there was a priest in 2016. She said I should go with him in his car to his parish for a week, and I felt that shouldn't happen. And another priest, he put his belt on my waist, trying to check the size of the cloth he would get me when I visit him, and that broke me. It gave me a lot of trauma in 2016, which is what they term madness. In 2016.
Right. And you reported this harassment?
I did.
What was their reaction?
It was normal, nothing, no case.
Yeah, but what did they say to you?
More like, am I not an adult?
In other words, that what was happening did not negate the very principles of Catholicism, the vows that you had taken, but that they took it in their stride.
They
Is that what you're
didn't
saying?
make it seem like it was a problem.
Right. It sounded like it was a fairly normal thing.
Exactly.
Right. And then you've now, how did all this connect you to Veritas University?
Now, when I complained bitterly about a priest I worked with, and they said where I worked before that they didn't like me again, the students in the hostel were complaining, and the people were also complaining according to the bishop, so he had to transfer me away from there.
Where was
but
that?
What happened actually in Imegba, a village where I worked as a hostel matron.
Right.
What actually happened was the priest was not given enough money for feeding of the hostel students. I had to use my salary to cover up for parts of the feeding. So I reported it to her, the superior. She did nothing about it. But then when I was transferred, I thank God, and that was the same time I applied to, I wrote JAMB going to school. So that was how I got to Veritas University on a scholarship.
Right.
Yes.
So you were transferred to Veritas. What year was that?
2018.
Right.
I
And
went
then,
on studies to study computer science
right.
at Veritas University.
Right.
So from there, I only come to the congregation, December or Easter period for holidays.
So you were spending all your time at the university?
Yes.
Right. So how did it get to this allegation from you of sexual harassment by your head of department?
This was on my second, what I call missionary journey, when I returned to the congregation after they gave me a 3-month suspension. This suspension came after I wrote to the bishop about things that were happening. I think I wrote to him about 13-page a letter with so many things that I just poured out my heart. I titled it A Letter to My Loving Father. So when I said all of that to him, he said he was not happy with me, and I started hearing things from sisters that I insulted the bishop.
Well, wait a minute. This letter preceded the sexual harassment allegation. In other words, it came before you then.
This was before I was, I went on suspension by the congregation. Okay, I wrote that letter complaining of so many things that was happening, and in that letter I said we sisters are placed under priests. Like my letter of posting from 2022 when I graduated from the university did not carry any position I was to work. Okay, you've been transferred or assigned to work in this place as what? Which means the priest would have used me for anything. And in that way, I became the bus conductor in the school, I became the busser, I became the HM, I became the cleaner, I became the nanny. So I complained to the bishop, and he called the priest, and the priest told him a lot of things. And the bishop said, I would just go and be writing. He never called the priest, nor called me to sort it out.
Right.
The same year, a sister said I was using juju on the bishop. I reported the issue to him. I sent the voice record of the conversation I had with her to him. So all of that made me uncomfortable, and I couldn't run to him when, upon returning to Veritas University for my master's, I was harassed by the head of department. I couldn't trust him.
Right. Well, look, there are a lot of things that you're telling us here, and it's difficult for people to get their heads around it because it's going from one thought to the other. Let's just focus on the biggest allegation that you have made, which is that you were sexually harassed by your head of department at Veritas University. How did that come about?
When I came to the university, I applied to work as a graduate assistant. I told the superior, because when I brought the letter that I needed to go for master's, the bishop said he had no money. So I told the superior that I could get a work, I could get employed while I do my master's. So she agreed to that, gave me a letter to that effect, and I left to do my master's in Veritas. So I took the letter to the software engineering department, the head of the department. So he told me to write the letter of seeking employment, and then he said I should take it to the vice chancellor. I told him that a classmate of mine said his head of department went with him and it helped him to get the employment. So could you please come with me, because I really need to get this employment so I can pay my fees. And he said okay, and he went with me to the vice chancellor's office. Upon our return, he said I should come with him to his private office, and that was when he came at me and tried to kiss me and held my body, and it was very terrible. I couldn't react. I froze, and afterwards I spoke to some staff and some colleagues. I got the employment quite okay, but I started being fearful of him and avoiding him. And
you reported this to the authorities?
Yes, I did.
You appeared before a panel?
I went to the chief medical director of the university. That was in December, and I told him my head of department was harassing me. And he said I should come to him if he does it again. So I felt that was not okay. So I didn't come to him when he did, harass me other times. So I reported to the university because a student of mine in 200 level said the head of department tried to touch his classmate inappropriately. As a mother, even though I'm a sister and not married, that instinct is there, and I felt that this has to be reported. So I sought evidence and reported it to the university. They called me to a panel and tried to pressure me into giving up the case.
Right, so that was how they responded to your allegation?
Yes, that he is a key...
Was there any attempt to investigate it?
I have not seen that, so they took me to the Vice Chancellor's office.
But you said you've got some evidence.
Yes.
Did you submit that to them?
I did show them. So they called him, they called the HOD.
Right.
And he said nothing like that happened. That nothing like that happened. So they played the evidence and he said, oh, now I can see that she's clearly trying to set me up. And they asked me to step out. When I stepped out, I heard them laughing. And when I came back in, I had to press the record to record whatever they were doing. I felt really, really disturbed. And they took me to the Vice Chancellor, who said that if I insist that a panel should be set up, that I will have to prove where in my letter I had said that such cases were reported and the university did not handle it. And I felt that the burden of proof was being, shifted to me, who is reporting the incident, rather than the person who abused me.
Right. Well, in all fairness, I mean, they have to investigate both sides. I mean, it's not fair on someone for allegations to be made against them because it affects their reputation, whilst at the same time, it is not fair on you that the allegations you're making are not properly investigated. But let me just make it clear that the university, Veritas, has denied the charges that you laid against them, and in the best interests of journalism here on Arise News, Veritas University, as well as her congregation of sisters, have a right of reply. So you have an absolute right to come on this program and respond to the allegations that she's making. But you said you sent letters to them, you got no reply.
They acknowledged,
and that there's been no discussion of accountability.
Veritas University acknowledged receipt of my letters. But they tried to play tricks. They came to my house unannounced with a nurse claiming that I was mentally unstable. Simply because I wrote a report a day before the panel they called me to. They said I should appear before the panel on the 11th, but then moved it to 14th. I still went for the panel. They fixed the panel on the same day with my exam. I had to miss that exam and went for the panel. Right.
So how did you get to be dismissed then? Very briefly, because we're almost out of time.
I was dismissed according to
as a nun?
Yes. When they came to my house unannounced, I ran to Jos, to my parents' house. And then the bishop called me. Where was I? And I told him that I was in Jos with my parents. And he said, it's holiday time. Why won't you come to the diocese? Not quite long after that conversation, I saw online that a priest was writing that I was mentally unstable, that I came to the convent with incomplete results. Father Solomon Olumeho. It was disturbing. So I sent a message to the bishop. Did you permit Father to write this about me? Then I went to Facebook and wrote that I was still a member of my congregation. I had not converted to Islam.
Yeah, but
according to what they claim.
You did write on
yes.
Facebook
and that
you had converted to Islam.
Yes, I told them
and
that.
they got rid of you for apostasy.
Yeah, I told them that was a post under tension. Prior to all these events, there were calculated attempts to pressure me into leaving the convent.
Right.
And I have always said that if anyone would make me leave the convent, I would not even be a Christian. My late auntie Salamatu, under distress, it was just common for me to have taken that name Salamatu because she was dear to me. And the picture I used in that Facebook post was from a picture I took in 2023.
Right. So your issue here, I mean, it raises questions about accountability in Catholic institutions, about sexual harassment, about alleged cover-up within religious circles. What are you going to do next?
Well, I do hope that justice will prevail I submitted another letter telling the university that whatever they wrote in my termination of appointment were false, giving an opportunity, if they would call me, I'm willing for them to, retrace their steps and do the right thing.
Right, and you would like to go back to being a nun, do you?
Yes, I have not left technically, because according to canon law, you cannot dismiss me as a finally professed sister by what you saw online. You've not had any conversation with me. You didn't even investigate my claims or whatever you claim that was online.
Okay. I want to thank you very much indeed for coming in to tell us your story. Anastasia Kinsey is a recently dismissed Catholic nun, and as I mentioned previously,
For joining us tonight. Let me begin by asking you, is it fair to Nigerians and to the students? The federal government on one hand, through the minister, said there isn't anything left to be done to satisfy the lecturers, that they have not done, that they've reached out to you. You become so difficult to reach. That is the statement coming from the Minister of Education. Is it fair for us to have gone on that strike?
Thank you very much for this opportunity to clear the air on some of these issues that the minister has raised. Actually, I never got to listen to his interview until now, and I have a fair idea of what he was saying. Number one, students, Nigerian students and academic staff union of universities are victims of government's They are victims of government's inaction and several other things. So we see ourselves as victims of this government the way students see themselves as victims of what is going on. I need to respond to what the minister said. It is not my plan to respond to the minister word for word. He's our minister. The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has appointed him minister to preside over the Ministry of Education. He is our boss. We need to work with him to help him succeed. But when he comes out to attack either me or the union, the way he has just done, I think we need to put the record straight. When we met with the Yaya Ahmed committee led by Senator Tejosho on Friday last week, documents were not available for us to discuss. As we sat in the hall for the meeting to start, that was when the Ministry of Education was transmitting documents for us to deliberate on. By the way, at that meeting, there wasn't a single staff of the Federal Ministry of Education at that meeting. Not a single staff of the Federal Ministry of Education at that meeting. Not one. Ministry of Labor was not there. Accountant General's office was not there. Solicitor General or Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, they were not represented. Office of the Head of Service of the Federation was not represented at that meeting. It was only Salaries and Wages Commission and Budget Office with 3 members of the federal government renegotiating team. That tells you how prepared they were for that meeting, number one. So when some of the documents were not available and the ones that came had a lot of errors, corrections that needed to be done, Senator Tejosho took my number and said once he get those details, he will send it to me. He did. He sent it to me late at night. I saw it, tried to open it, it wouldn't open. I replied to Senator Tejosho that the documents are not opening. On Saturday morning, I got fresh documents from him. That opened. We were at a meeting discussing that document. Later at night, Senator Tejosho called to say, what is happening? Are you going on strike? He pleaded that we shouldn't go on strike. I told him that we're still discussing, that we should give them the document, so give our position back to them. I told him that we are unable to give you back the document because we are still discussing it. But Senator, the Honorable Minister of Education is responsible for these delays. We had called him a week earlier. I was telling Senator, we are calling him a week earlier and said, call this meeting. Let's have what you have, because he said everything was ready. Let's get what you have so that we can start discussing it within the period of the ultimatum, so we would not have to embark on a strike action. The minister said no. He had his reasons. He said no. And he waited until the last day of the ultimatum. They now sent documents that were incomplete, incorrect for us to deliberate on. That can be verified from all those who were at that meeting. From the government side, the NUC executive secretary was there. You can verify those things from them. I now tell Senator Tejosu that the minister is responsible for this delay. Additionally, the minister has abandoned the document that was sent to the ministry for consideration and had brought his own idea, literally starting the negotiations afresh with us. That is not done in any negotiation. When I started telling Senator Tejosu this, he offered if he could join the minister. I said, no, sir, don't join the minister in this conversation. Tell him exactly what I've said, if you can. He said, okay. So there wasn't, it's not like I'm denying that I didn't want to talk to the minister.
So, Prof,
I told Senator.
Yeah. So, Prof, this is all about, from your own analysis, you were saying you were not difficult to reach, and that the fact that all this fraud lies on the doorstep of the Ministry of Education. Is that what you're saying?
The Honorable Minister of Education, with all due respect, should answer to all the delays and this strike that we have embarked on. He has a lot to answer to students and to our members, and indeed to Nigerians. Why he delayed the meeting till the last day, even when he had the chance to do it a week earlier.
So you gave a 14 days ultimatum, isn't it?
Yes, we did.
A 2 weeks ultimatum. In all of these, how many consultation meetings did you have?
After our, when we first started this meeting with the federal government team, we had about 3 meetings before December 2024. After December 2024, we kept waiting for the federal government team to call us back to tell us what the federal government, their principal, had told them about what we had agreed at plenary. We never got to hear from them. We wrote letters. We never met with them. We wrote letters. We met with the Minister of Education between May or so to August, about twice officially over this matter, twice. We met twice. And at one of the meetings, we had asked him on the 11th of August, to be precise, that why is it taking you long to respond to the document that the committee you set up have submitted to you? And he said to us that honestly, he never saw the report until February. It was said to have been submitted in December.
Yeah.
He said he never saw it until February. Okay, sir, fine. Many things happened. Christmas came, New Year came, Hajj came, all those things. From February to now, what has happened? Nothing was done to that report. It was when we went to Sokoto for a meeting and threatened strike that the minister called for a meeting to consider that report on the 28th of August. We are talking about the report that was submitted to his office in December. let's say February, since he said he saw it in February. We are talking about the report that was submitted to his office in February. And then we're in August. Look, Sheung, I don't want to talk about the minister, what he has done, what he has not done, what we have done, what we have not done. That is not the way out of this situation. We have embarked on an action, and we are willing to go back and discuss with this government on the best ways to resolve this matter. We are willing. Forget about what Dr. Alausa did or didn't do. Forget about what ASU did or didn't do. We can go back and forth on this matter.
So Professor Pumuna, if you may tell Nigerians, what do you think is the best way to resolving this matter?
Today, I received a call from Alhaji Yaya Liamet, GCON, chairman of the federal government team, and he's eager to resume talks with us. I received another call from the Minister of State for Labor, stating that she's also been directed to intervene and get this matter resolved. ASU is willing, we are ready, we are available to discuss this matter once and for all.
So, Professor Pumuna, I asked that question specifically because there are a litany, a list of the demands that you are making. And one might get confused as to how the federal government and how long they will take to be able to resolving or agreeing on your demands. But that's the reason. A simple question: how best do you think these can be resolved, and how quickly can it be?
That was the point I was trying to make, that we are available. I received calls from government officials today telling us that they are willing to restart this discussion. My understanding, as I'm talking to you now, is that between this night and tomorrow, I will get a communication from the secretary of the Yaya Liamet committee for a meeting at a date that they will tell us. And I would also hear from the Minister of Labor what they want to do to resolve this matter. We are ready and we are willing to go back and talk and resolve this thing. Strike has never been an option that we exercise so freely. We are willing to talk about all these issues. You just listed the items that are in contention. There are about 5 of them that you listed. And I want Nigerians to listen to what I'm about to say now. Sheung is going to show these items once again. And I want them to ask either the Ministry of Labor or Alhaji Yaya Liamet's committee whether these issues are part of what we are going to discuss. Since the minister has said all the problems have been solved, that there is nothing left, I want them to ask the Ministry of Labor and the federal government negotiating team. So if the minister has solved all these problems, why are you going back to talk with ASU? Are lecturers in ASU, in LASU, Lagos, still being victimized? Are lecturers in Kogi State University still being victimized? Have you concluded on the 2009 agreement? Is government owing us 12 months of 35% salary increase? Has government paid our third-party deductions through the office of IPs? Because they are the ones.
Professor Pumuna, because of our time, we need to go. But let me ask you quickly. The no work, no pay, from today, you will not be getting a pay. As long as you are on strike, you and your colleagues, the federal government said there won't be pay for you. How are you reacting to that?
We don't respond to threats. We don't respond to threats. And nobody can threaten us. We don't respond to threats.
Is this a threat or a policy of government? They are your employers. And they say when you're not working, you will not get paid. It's a policy.
He's threatening us. He's writing to NAMDA. He's writing to Konwa. He's telling them that they can get their salaries, trying to cause divide and rule. All of us are united in this matter. Konwa is with us, Namda is with us, Sanu is with us, Nasu is with us, NAT is with us, polytechnics are with us, colleges of education are with us. He has got something coming. He had rather sit down and solve this problem, or he will see how he can divide all this out and succeed.
Professor Chris Puwuna is the president of ASU. Thank you so much indeed. I plead with you for the sake of the students, universities classes are short. Those who want to write exam are not able to do that. For the sake of the students, let the federal government come to reason and let ASU also come to reason. Sit down together and let's resolve this. Well, thank you so much. My regards to you and your colleagues, comrades there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Some good things are happening in Nigeria. You can't believe it. People are coming back home for what? To get treated, healing in our medical sector. For decades, the phrase has been medical trip abroad